I think this Oregon team, a little bit different than maybe we used to believe Oregon to be. Like, this is a different Ducks now. We used to think about Oregon, we would think, what, uniforms? We'd think about fast offense, which they still have both of those. We think about, well, they're scheming around their personnel. Oregon, they'll get a couple 3-stars. They'll get a couple of guys that fell through the cracks, and then maybe that 4-star there, here or there, and then they'll end up maximizing them and allowing them to be great in that system and in what they do out there developmentally. Great. Cool. That's not Oregon anymore. College football sickos, make sure you're subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel. College football, nothing but college football all year round. Oregon is no longer like the underdog or that school out there on the West Coast that has cool uniforms. Like, Oregon has legitimately flipped that entire narrative on their head. Because we used to think about Oregon, we'd say, what? Well, they got to play Stanford at some point this year. And Stanford would typically, throughout the course of a couple of years, out-physical them. Oregon wasn't tough enough. Dan Lanning has since made sure that is not the case anymore. Physically, they are both a team that is built tough and a team that plays tough. And what I mean by they're built to be tough, like, they have multiple NFL players on the offensive and defensive line. That wasn't always the case. Sure, you would have some guys throughout the course of, different seasons or different eras where you would have guys go play professionally. Eric Armstead, a guy that you talk about different offensive linemen that have gone in and played professionally in Oregon. That's definitely true. DeForest Buckner. However, though, they got guys like multiple guys on both lines of scrimmage. Johnny Cornelius, Josh Connolly on the offensive line, two of the best in America. Jordan Birch, Derek Harmon, Mateo Uiagalelei. He's going to be a pro when it's his time. They're built to be tough, and then they play tough. Because you can have NFL players, ask Florida State, and not contribute at an NFL level, if that makes sense. Like, the production and the eye test sometimes don't always match up. For Oregon, they match up. They're allowing 16 points a game right now. They are top 15 in America on the offensive line when it comes to sack rate allowed. They're averaging 5 yards a carry on the ground. Like, this is a real deal Oregon team that's tough, both personnel-wise and production-wise. And so they're built tough, they play tough, but also, most importantly, they're tough mentally. And I saw this going on social media last night or in the Twitter sphere. Go ahead and watch this clip and tell me you're not ready to run through a brick wall for Dan Lanning.
I'm going to tell you to look up at the stands at some point in this game, and you're going to start to see them empty out. We've made the decision before we've even stepped on the field all day. It's thumbs down. It's no mercy.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
And when this thing's over with, we're going to ask, are you not entertained? Right? Are you not entertained? I told you about this moment on Monday. Look around. Look around.
Yes, sir.
Where'd he go? Go. Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
You have to look at the arena.
Are you not
All day, baby. Thumbs down. No mercy. Gladiator reference from Dan Lanning. And I know we get to see like a window into the house, as Dan Lanning would say. I think this is a pretty accurate look at who Oregon is. They're mentally tough. They don't care about the situation. They don't care if they're on the road. They don't care if it's post-Ohio State. They got to go play Purdue on a Friday night. Like, they are the same team as much as possible as you can be to this point in the 2024 college football season as possible, week in and week out. You watch that, and you know what? Honestly, one of my first thoughts, how many times have we seen Kirby Smart give a very similar kind of inspiring speech to his locker room? Feels like several different scenarios I can point to in my mind, and I can't play them on the show because there's some other choice words in there. But like, Kirby Smart kind of says the same thing. Hey, we're winning this moment, is exactly what he said against South Carolina. We're going to be the enforcer. We are going to take it to them. We're not scared of anybody, is essentially the Kirby Smart mantra. And it's one thing to say that in a pump-up speech. It's another thing to go out and live it with your team. It's another thing for Dan Lanning and Oregon to go take it to Michigan and in that moment say, no mercy, thumbs down, watch them file out of the stadium. And so I think now going forward, people are going to say, well, that's great, but like, listen, Oregon, they're not winning the whole thing this year. And they say they're not going to beat Ohio State twice. They're not going to beat Texas or Georgia. And like all that, honestly, it may end up being true. I don't know. We're going to let the games decide, which is going to be awesome. But I would say this. This is not like a one-year deal for Dan Lanning where he's just got a good opportunity and the right team and they're going to pop. Like, this is now, I think, new Oregon. And the reason why I believe that is because Dan Lanning, the way that he operates, the way that they recruit, going on what is trending towards their third top 10 class. They had a top 5 portal class this past cycle. They're going to have top talent in Eugene. Why? Because he's a dog on the recruiting trail. They're going to make it a point to recruit, and also they have good resources. Like, let's be real here. Oregon, from what we can tell, well-resourced in the NIL world. And if that's going to be a major factor, as it will be for a lot of these recruits, like, that's going to win out. And with that being said now, you can get top talent, but Dan Lanning and his team, the mentality, the toughness, the overall persona, heck, the coaching staff, like, they're going to do something with that talent. Going back to the staff, Dan Lanning has hired 2 OCs. Both have been hits. Kenny Dillingham, now a head coach at Arizona State, and Will Stein, who I think it's just a matter of time before he decides he wants to be a head coach somewhere. Tosh LaPoy, they've been balling on the defensive side. Like, they've got a great staff. From what I can tell, they've got a great culture. And seeing that clip, I was like, dog, I'm ready to go play for Dan Lanning tomorrow. Like, I'm ready to go run down on kickoff. Probably can't help you right now out of the backfield or at either skill position, but, like, kick the ball off, I'll go headhunt for Dan Lanning. If that's the intensity he's approaching it with. As a player, you feel that. And quite frankly, that intensity, again, it permeates throughout your locker room, permeates throughout your culture, and it makes you want to even go harder for your coach. So I think it's a different Oregon team than it's been over the course of the last decade plus. I cannot wait to watch how they finish the season, and getting to see that clip, getting to see their approach on the road at Michigan, and to have it come to fruition after he told them no mercy, thumbs down all day, they're going to file out of the stadium, that was epic.